So guys, what takes week so far? Once again, you guys are more of a video, but looking at the true size of Space Marine chapter. Someone told me to check this out in the comments in my last video, so I really appreciate that. And I decided to stick with the same guy because I love his visuals that he does. You know, just the way that he not only explains it and his narration skills, but he also just to show the scale of, you know, in the last video, the Tyranids, you know, just to see it while hearing it just does a lot more for me. I don't know how much for you guys, but I really did enjoy it. And to kind of see, you know, the scale of a Space Marine chapter, something that I kind of want to know because I've heard about it. I know the size, I know how lethal they are, but I never got to visually see it. And hopefully in this video could kind of go more in depth and I can actually, you know, visually, geez, see the complexity of it. So I'm definitely excited for it. Like always, please check out the original creator in the description. Show him some love. If you guys enjoy my content, if you enjoy my reactions, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get to it.
Space Marines are the greatest of the Emperor of Mankind's warriors, who stand as a bulwark against a galaxy of horrors. Yet, formidable as they may be on their own, the strength of these superhuman Astartes lies in their combined
Dude,
arms.
superhuman's like an understatement, bro.
From the defensively equipped Devastator squads to the offensively equipped Assault squads,
Dope
the
there,
mixed
bro.
doctrine tactical squads, and beyond. Theirs is a force best understood as a whole. Thus, in this series we shall bring to life the entirety of a Codex-compliant Space Marine chapter, with its Scout, Reserve, and Battle companies, in addition to its vehicle pool, support staff, and command structure. We shall do so with none other than the Primarch Roboute Guilliman's finest. This is the true size of the Ultramarine chapter.
That's a real size of it, man. That is a massive chapter, dude. If that's actually how big they are.
You can organize your own unsanctioned war host with today. Here you begin by Psyker the star that of pushback time in.
The Imperium of Man spans much of the known galaxy. As such, its military is of an equally enormous size, and its scope defies
Yeah,
the
just a
grasp
couple
of
trillion,
human minds.
you know, guardsmen.
Yet at its core
Nothing.
lies a bastion of order
That
in the
crazy,
form
man.
of the 1,000 Space Marine chapters.
Crazy.
In days past, such chapters were part of sprawling legions capable of fielding hundreds of thousands of Space Marines alongside their associated Imperial Army, fleet, and logistical elements. However, while these formidable institutions were critical in the wars of the Great Crusade, their incredible power proved dangerously concentrated during the bloody civil war of the Horus Heresy in the early 31st millennium. Thus it was that in the aftermath of this conflict, the Ultramarines Primarch, Roboute Guilliman, split the remaining 9 loyalist Space Marine legions into roughly 1,000 chapters of 1,000 Marines, in what came to be known as the Second Founding. The restructuring of these troops was formalized in the sacred tome of the Codex Astartes. Written by Roboute Guilliman himself, this exhaustive treatise laid out his ideal for the order of battle, tactical doctrine, and moral behavior of a Space Marine chapter. Its guidance proved key to the evolution of these new units. Yet, while it has been adopted to one extent or another by the vast majority of chapters, full, unwavering conformity proved impossible. In the 10 millennia since its inception and the death of Guilliman, the Codex Astartes has been added to by many other writers, and several competing versions have emerged.
See, that's the problem right there.
Yet, the core tenets of the Codex have stood the test of time.
You keep on messing
With
with
this
it,
in
bro.
mind, we can now describe the general organization of a Codex-compliant chapter of the 41st millennium.
But also, you need to also upgrade it for the times as well,
Generally
too.
speaking,
So,
a Codex-compliant chapter has
Well, I
around
know.
1,000 Space Marines led by a chapter master. Each chapter is in turn divided into 10 companies of 100 Marines, each led by a captain and a pair of lieutenants. These leaders are accompanied by a command squad of hand-picked veterans and an HQ unit of at least one of the following: a chaplain, a librarian, a tech marine, and an apothecary. Each company is then further subdivided into roughly 10 squads of 10 marines, each led by a
Simple enough.
sergeant. The companies are traditionally ranked in seniority from the 1st to the 10th, and often have their own particular roles to play in the chapter's function and culture. They are mainly designated by the appearance of their shoulder trim, with each company having its own unique color. The most traditionally defined roles are as follows. The 10th company, designated the Scout Company, is where the chapter's neophytes are first inducted and learn to become Space Marines. The 9th to 6th companies are designated as Reserve Companies, their duties being to hone the skills of aspiring Space Marines in different facets of war and to provide support and replacements for the 5th through 2nd companies. These so-called battle companies are combined arms elements who form the bulk of a chapter's strike forces. Lastly, the 1st company is designated the Veteran Company, which consists of the chapter's most experienced warriors.
Makes sense.
Attached to this force of roughly 1,000 Marines are a host of support personnel, vehicles, and starships. Together, they operate as a completely autonomous military unit whose headquarters may be located on a planet or moon-based fortress monastery, or on a massive flagship for fleet-based chapters. From here, they will exert control over their local area of space whilst serving as a small but critical elite force which can be deployed across the galaxy. They do so under the sole direction of their chapter master, who answers to no one except his fellow chapter masters, the High Lords of Terra, and the Emperor of Mankind himself.
Obviously.
With this broad understanding, let us now delve into the greater specifics of a Space Marine chapter's organization.
So far, all this
In
is
this
I've known all
we
this
will
so
do
far.
best to study the
For the most part.
Ultramarines, progeny of the Primarch Rabutier Guilliman himself, who adhere most faithfully to his Codex Astartes. More specifically, we will be discussing the Ultramarines around the time of year 999 of M41, just prior to the fall of Cadia and the eruption of the Great Rift.
So the guy's YouTube ad. Let's continue.
We shall begin with the ascension of a new recruit as he prepares to undertake the long and arduous journey through the ranks of the Brotherhood.
And the surgeries. we saw that video a while
In many
back.
cases, chapters may seek to draw their manpower from worlds with harsh environments and cultures which pre-select applicants with desirable traits. There are, however, exceptions to this rule. In the case of the Ultramarines, they maintain several prestigious academies across the realm of Ultramar, dedicated to the training and education of youths, from whence candidates are then drawn. Such recruits will be mortal boys who must now undergo the harsh trials of an aspirant. Those who pass either an exposure trial or the less common challenge trial may now be deemed worthy of starting their training in the chapter proper and are inducted into its ranks as a neophyte. However, this is but the beginning of their toils, and many will not survive the grueling tests which follow. Yet, those who do are granted the honor of finally becoming a true Space Marine. This transformation is a literal one, which involves a neophyte being implanted with their chapter's first set of 19 unique
You
gene
saw about that,
seed
man.
organs.
It is so cool.
Such carefully maintained marvels of genetic engineering will grant the recipient a range of superhuman abilities. Yet the process is a trial unto itself, with many being crippled or killed in the attempt. Survivors who finally emerge from the medical chambers will now do so as battle brothers, ready to begin their service to the chapter. Here they will join as a scout in the 10th Company, the Scions of Ultramar, under the command of Captain Antilochus. The entirety of the 10th is composed of scout squads. However, Owing to its role as a training unit for the chapter, a scout company has no fixed number of squads attached to it. Thus, while its brethren may be expected to call upon 100 Marines per company, a scout company may field many times this number.
Because some might not survive.
They specialize in reconnaissance, infiltration, and sabotage. Scouts have received the same augmentations as their full-fledged battle brothers, but have yet to earn the right to wear power armor, instead wearing lighter carapace armor, more suited to their intended role. A standard scout squad consists of 4 to 9 such individuals led by a sergeant. Squads may be armed in a variety of ways, based on their intended roles. For instance, a sniper scout squad will be composed of 3 men with sniper rifles, a 4th man with a missile launcher, heavy bolter or autocannon, and a sergeant armed with bolt pistol as well as a chainsword as a sign of their rank.
Chainswords are so
Tactical
dope,
scout
bro.
squads, meanwhile,
Love
will
it.
trade out the 3 sniper
It's just a sword with a chainsaw on it. That's by the name alone. It's just why not?
rifles for bolters, while an assault squad will use shotguns, bolt pistols, combat knives, and grenades. Thus armed, young Space Marines will begin to familiarize themselves with the basic arsenal of their chapter. Scouts are also trained to operate light bikes and may ride
cool.
these nimble vehicles on recon
that vehicle.
and disruption missions once they have gained sufficient experience. Scouts may also be deployed on the Storm-type land speeder to improve the squad's mobility and provide it with additional fire support in their often far-ranging operations. While it may be tempting to look down upon this most novice of companies, the 10th has its own proud history and traditions. The Scions of Ultramar have produced some of the most renowned infiltration experts and marksmen among the Adeptus Astartes. Indeed, many of the most veteran men of a company may spend years embedded in this unit as a means to train up its youngest neophytes. Once a Marine has earned sufficient experience as a scout, he will finally be implanted with his black carapace, which serves as a neural control interface that enables the full use of power armor. Thus equipped, he can now begin his journey through the ranks of the reserve companies. This starts with the 9th Company, the Stormbringers, led by Captain Sinon. It is a dedicated heavy support company composed of 10 Devastator squads. Of all the companies, they are the most defensive in doctrine, as shall be made clear by their armament.
Okay.
Each Devastator squad consists of a sergeant and up to 9 Marines.
Oh, damn.
4 are designated as heavy weapon specialists, with the rest acting as support. While the latter carries the typical
What's their
bolter,
red gun, bro?
pistol, and grenade, the former brings to bear a far heavier arsenal, which includes heavy bolters, las cannons, plasma cannons,
Plasma cannon.
multi-melters, missile launchers, and grav cannons.
Okay.
The squad sergeant is given additional heavy weapons training, making him an expert in the use and coordination of these mighty armaments. Sergeants will not, however, carry a heavy weapon themselves, and instead are equipped with their usual chainsword and some form of ranged weapon.
Dude, it'd be better
Such
to give him a bolter,
Devastator
but
squads may
whatever.
act as generalists who deploy a range of weaponry to meet any foe, or may act as specialists with gear designed to counter a particular enemy type, such as heavy armor or massed hordes. Thus, in the words of the Primarch Robute Guilliman, quote, "A Devastator's reach shall be without limit, and his touch without mercy. Fire shall roar from his fingertips, but it shall consume him not. Thunder will roar when he calls, yet it will swallow him not. Wherever he stands, that shall be his fortress of righteousness."
That's so dope, dude. That's a hard quote.
These Devastators will be further reinforced
So
by
cool,
their
man.
vehicles. A prime example is the Centurion-class warsuit, which has only recently been seeing more widespread adoption. This
What?
exoskeleton fits over a Marine's armor, further protecting them with ceramite plates. And
Bro, literally a Space Marine himself is a force to be reckoned with. Then when he gets his armor, he's that times 10. Then you give him an extra set of armor. Okay, why not?
granting him the ability to wield even more formidable weaponry.
How strong can you make these guys, bro? It's crazy.
Centurion pilots are often drawn from the most veteran of the chapter's Devastator squads, and from there may be deployed alongside the 9th, depending on the situation. Like all of the following companies, the 9th also maintains a force of transports ranging from the small, nimble land speeders to the large, plodding Rhino and Razorback APCs. Additionally, the 9th may count on the support of Dreadnought combat walkers and Whirlwind artillery tanks. These and the rest of a company's vehicle needs will be drawn from the chapter armory, which we shall discuss later. After serving in the 9th and proving themselves capable of holding their ground against any foe, a Marine will next move to the 8th Company, where they shall learn the art of the offense. Within the Ultramarines chapter, they bear the title the Honor Blades and are led by Captain Joris Numitor. It is composed of 10 assault squads, the primary close combat and assault specialists of the Ultramarines. Each assault squad consists of a sergeant and up to 9 Marines, who will usually be equipped with jump packs to greatly enhance their mobility and allow for devastating aerial attacks. Assault Marines are primarily armed with a combination of bolt pistol, chainsword, and frag or crack grenades. 1 or 2 Marines may be assigned a flamer to improve the squad's close-range firepower. Sergeants, meanwhile, are permitted a greater variety of war gear owing to their superior rank. In addition, they are bolstered by an upgraded comms package to allow them to operate efficiently whilst well ahead of the main army.
Cool.
Such assault squads are among the most mobile of Space Marine units, being used for a variety of roles including reconnaissance in force, decapitation strikes, and counter-assault missions. Their fearsome reputation precedes them, as was the intent of Roboutier Guilliman, who declared of the Assault Marine, quote, "He shall descend upon the perfidious foe as an angel of judgment from on high. Let the jump pack be his wings, and the roar of its engines a hymn of retribution. Let the chainsword be his scepter of decree, its harsh voice singing joyfully with each and every blow. With it shall the Assault Marine bring bloody retribution to the heretic, the traitor, and all alien aggressors who trespass on the Emperor's domain."
Dude, these quotes go hard,
The company's mobility
Every single
is
one of
further
them.
enhanced by a vehicle pool, which includes a larger than usual number of bikes and land speeders, and is supported by its own air force of Storm Talon gunships.
Dope.
In terms of heavy armor, the 8th has access to the typical complement of walkers, transports, artillery, and tanks, and may call upon such assets from the armory as needed.
So guys, no YouTube ad. Let's continue.
Now, having proven their merit in defense among the Devastator squads of the 9th and in offense among the assault squads of the 8th, a Marine will advance to the 7th Company, where the two doctrines shall be merged. For the Ultramarines, this occurs in the ranks of the
Come on, balance,
Defenders of Caesarion, who are led by
Both sides of the
Captain
coin.
Gerard Ixion. They are composed of 10 tactical squads, the masters of combined arms warfare, who have long formed the backbone of Space Marine strike forces for over 10 millennia. Consisting of a sergeant and up to 9 Marines, these are highly adaptable units designed to operate effectively against numerous types of opponents. As such, the majority of the squad is equipped with a bolt gun, bolt pistol, combat blade, and grenades. For improved firepower and flexibility, 2 of its members may be equipped in the manner of Devastators with special weaponry such as flamers, melter guns, plasma guns, and grav guns.
It's looking more like the Space
As
Marine design
usual,
now.
sergeants have access to a wide variety of different war gear, such as
Bolter's
combi
crazy.
weapons and powered close combat weapons, although they
Power
often
sword.
go into battle armed with a bolt pistol and chainsword. Yet,
By the way, after seeing all these different weapons you guys made this far, this is just kind of a thing I saw recently. I don't know how to record it yet, so I can't really do anything about it. But if you have contractors on VR, I know this is random, they added a Space Marine mod, and you could be a Space Marine fighting against other Space Marines. You have like power swords and bolters and shit. So cool. I was playing it a ton, man. It is so much fun. So if you have it, play it. You get the game, and the mod's free.
as the
Trust me,
Primarch
you love it,
Robotier
dude.
Guilliman reminds us,
So dope.
quote, "But these are mere tools. A tactical Marine's true weapons are his courage, his wits, and his dedication to his brothers. He will bring his foe to battle in a manner and time of his choosing, never himself caught unready or ill-prepared for the task at hand. In defense, he shall be stalwart as the mountain, a bulwark stood firm against the enemies of man. In attack, he shall strike with the wrath of the immortal Emperor, felling the foe without mercy, remorse, or fear." In terms of vehicle support, this company can call upon the usual complement of dreadnoughts, transports, and tanks. But for even greater flexible deployment, the 7th also maintains a permanent pool of land speeders, as dictated by the Codex, providing the chapter with a ready force of specialists in these nimble combat skimmers.
Nice.
Battle brothers who continue to prove themselves will now make their way into the 6th Company. Within the Ultramarines, this last unit of the reserve companies is known as the Brethren of the Forge,
Dope
and is
name.
led by the famously aggressive Captain Maximus Epithus. The 6th is in many ways a mirror of the 7th, in that it also consists of 10 tactical squads. However, its members are more experienced and leverage these skills for a doctrine of armored spearhead assaults. As such, they make great use of APCs to rapidly maneuver its infantry,
Tanks.
while being supported by dreadnoughts, battle tanks, mobile artillery, and gunships requisitioned from the armory. Such is the extensive mechanized training of the brothers who serve in the 6th, that their ranks will be called upon to provide an honor guard to watch over the chapter armory within the fortress of Hera, and many such men will go on to become future tech Marines.
That's
Should
so cool.
a Space Marine survive their long and bloody journey through the Scout and Reserve companies, a service which will take years if not decades to achieve, he will finally be granted the honor of advancing to the battle companies. We shall delve into their ranks in part 2.
That was really good, man. That was good. It checked every box I needed to see the complexity of it, to see the visualization of it, to not only be able to hear what he's saying, but also to follow it as well with visuals was just awesome. And the scale is amazing. It's crazy how lethal a chapter is, but at the same time, in the grand scale, how small it is. Like, you think 1,000 Space Marines, that's a lot. All the vehicles, all the years and decades, 100 years of experience. But at the end of the day, they're so tiny. You know, when you have trillions and trillions of soldiers and you fight against trillions of opponents, you know, because everyone's scaled to max for the most part, at least when it comes to the major factions, you know, you just kind of puts a perspective about how unique and special Space Marine is. And that's why a lot of people in the Imperium have never seen a Space Marine, because in hindsight, there's not really many of them, you know. So it's really cool, and hopefully in the next part we can go more in depth with the battle squads and learn more about the history of them, but as well as the years of experience as well, because every time we go up, you get more and more experience. Decades of experience. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Again, please check out the original video in the description. If you guys enjoy my content, if you guys enjoy my reactions, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.